Hello and welcome to another YouTube video. This one's going to be on percentages, which is what we've been doing in class. So it's going to work very similar to the other YouTube video. So I've got 3 examples. We're going to run through each one at a time. I'll go nice and slowly and I'll explain every step. And if you get confused, you can rewind and you can rewatch it. You can pause it, give yourself time to think. But I'll go in nice and slowly and work through, showing how we're working out and solving the questions. So we've got 3 examples, getting harder each time, and at the end we've got some homework questions that'll be very similar. But let's start off with this one. We've got find 49% of 330. So there's multiple ways of doing this. You could find 1% and have 49 lots of that, 49 1%, 49%. Or you could find 10% and do that 4 times and then find 9%. But it seems obvious to me to do it this other way, so I'm going to show you how. We start off, 100% is 330. So I'm going to find 50%, and to get from 100% to 50%, I'll divide by 2. So to get on the other side, we have to do the same thing, divide by 2, and we get 165. So that's 50%, I found that already. And now I'm going to find 1%. So to get from 100 to 1% and divide by 100, 100% divided by 100 is 1%. And so same on the other side. So 330 divided by 100 gives us 3.3. And now I've got the 50%. I got the 1%. So I'm going to do 50%. Take away 1%. Gives us the 49%. So that's what our answer is going to be. So that's 165 is the 50%. Yeah. We're going to take away the 1%, which is 3.3. And we get our solution, 161.7. So at the end, I'm just going to make it nice and clear. 49% is 161.7. There we go. So that's stuff we've been doing in class already. It shouldn't be too hard. Next one, here it says increase 180 by 15%. So the key word here is increase, which means to make larger. You're making 180 bigger than what it is now. So if you end up with a number smaller than 180, you've gone wrong somewhere. So increase means to get bigger. The opposite would be to decrease, spelled like that. Decrease means to make smaller. But we are increasing here, so we're going to start off by finding this 15%. So I'm going to say 100% is 180, just like the last one. And again, lots of ways to do it, but I'm going to find 10% and 5% and add them together. You could find 1% times by 15. You could do it maybe 3 lots of 5%. But I'm going to find 10% by dividing by 10. And then 5% is half of 10%. So half of 18 is 9. Okay, and then 15% is going to be the 10%. Add the 5%. Gives us the 15%. So the 10% is the 18. The 5% is the 9. Equals 27. But we're not finished yet because, again, this keyword, increase. So we're going to make 180 larger by 27. So like I said, we needed something bigger than 180. And we get that through adding 180 and 27, giving us 207. And that's our answer. So we've increased 180 by this 15%. If it said decrease, instead of adding here, we would subtract. Because it says increase, we're adding. Okay, and the last example starts getting a bit wordier, a lot more words. So it says 18 out of 23 students hand in good homework. What percentage of students have bad homework? So we're trying to find out a percentage from these two numbers. So we can easily make it into a fraction. That's really easy. So I'm just reading the question. This is 18 out of 23 have good. Have good. So how many have bad? Well, if there's 18 students have good, then what's left? Well, there's 5 students left out of the 23. So the 5 students out of the 23 have bad. So it's really easy to make it into a fraction. And then what we've got to do is just what we did in the other topic where we were converting between fractions, decimals and percentages. So we're going to stick with this one because we want bad homeworks. And we're going to change it into a decimal and then into a percentage. So the way we change fractions into decimals, we do the top divided by the bottom. So 5 divided by 23. And we could do it using our method like this. 5 divided by 23. And we get 0 here. And 50. And that would be 2, remainder 4. And then that's just 1, remainder 17. So we could do it this way, but it's going to take a long time and it's going to go on forever. But if you didn't have a calculator, that's the way you'd do it. But I'm sure you all do have calculators, so we're going to use a calculator. So if you just type it in, 5 divided by 23, and make sure you press the change button, and we just get this really long horrible decimal. So 0.217391, and it keeps going. Okay, so we've changed it into a decimal now. So again, we got the fraction of the bad people, bad homework. That's this fraction here. Then we did change it to a decimal, and now the last step is just to change it into a percentage. And if we remember the other topic, it's pretty easy. We can just times by 100. So if we do 0.217391 times 100, we get 21.7391. And it keeps going percent. And I don't want you to leave it as a horrible decimal, so we're going to round. Let's round to 2 decimal places. So this is 21.74 because we're rounding to 2 decimal places, so the 9 goes up. Okay, so that's our answer. 21.74% have bad homework. So we can write that in, make sure we're extra clear so that we don't have bad homework. Okay, good. So that's our 3 examples. We can use these to help us with the homework questions. So again, we've got finding a percentage of an amount. That's like question 1. Question 2 is a decrease, so be careful. Remember what I said in the other example. Decrease 620 by 30%. And number 3, very similar to the one we've just done. 70 people from a group of 36 got a strike when bowling. So then you've got to find out what percentage got a strike. So it's important to read through and see if you want the people who want a strike or the people who didn't get a strike. Here it's saying people who got a strike, so be careful there. And then the final thing, we've got this question here. So I'll help you out with this one a little bit, and then you can finish it off yourselves. So this is a typical question you might get. This table shows how many flights are delayed on 3 days, and we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we've got the on-time flights, and we've got the delayed flights. So I'll help you with Monday. We need to find the percentage of delayed flights on each day. So people might think 8 out of 44, but actually we need to add another column really at the bottom with the total amounts. So the total amount of flight on Monday was 44 add 8, which equals 52. Okay, so now we can work out that fraction. So the delayed flights on Monday, you've got the 8 out of the 52. And now we've got a fraction, we can change it to a decimal, and then because we've got a decimal, we can change it to a percentage. And so we'll do that for Monday, for Tuesday, for Wednesday, and then we can compare them at the bottom here. Which day was best to travel on and why? Well, we can compare the percentages, and it makes it easy to compare. So yeah, that's the homework. Good luck with it. I'm sure you'll all manage. If you're stuck, you can obviously go back and rewatch the video. as many times as you want. If you're still stuck, you can read the textbook. That'll help you out as well. If you're still not managing, then you can always talk to a friend, get help off them. And if you really can't do it all, well, there's your parents, but if you really can't do it after that, then you can always come see me and I'll help you out. Okay, so it's for Friday.